you take 8% out per year, you will run out of money 2 out of 3 times. 63% of the time, not even a coin flip, 63% of the time, you will run out of money in advance of life expectancy.
You have flat out called out the gurus, whether Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, and others, who have forever said well, I'll tell you what, there was an article written by Yahoo Finance. You probably have seen it. It says, author says Dave Ramsey is completely ignorant of sequence of return risk. Questions whether 1 million is really enough for retirement. I mean, I see you grinning right now because I'm sure you got a few arrows slung at you because people love Dave Ramsey, right? They worship the ground he walks on, and he's done a wonderful job of helping people get out of debt, stay out of debt, build great relationships and all that. But when it comes to this topic of sequence of return risk, he's just flat out wrong. One of the things that has driven me crazy and pretty much almost wrecked me several times driving down the road listening to Dave Ramsey is, hey, if you buy a group of mutual funds, you're going to average 8 to 12% per year, and you can take out that money every year and live comfortably, and that's why you need $1 million with Social Security. You're going to be just fine. And I would, I have a platform to disagree with that. It's not even disagreeing. It's based on math and science, right? That this is not true. And you wrote the book, The Guru Gap, that flat out called out on the mat that this is wrong. Talk about it.
Yeah, so Dave Ramsey has famously said that if you put your money in good mutual funds, and he never really defines what those are, but good mutual funds, you're going to get 12% linear rates of return, which means year over year over year, the mutual fund company is going to deposit 12% into your bank account, right? That's sort of how he describes it. And what that should do, if accounting for inflation, you could very comfortably take out 8% per year. So if you have $1 million in your IRA, day one of retirement, you could take out 8% per year adjusted for inflation every year thereafter. Okay, so that's $80,000 of income. That's great. Well, the only problem is when people that I respect, like Dr. Wade Pfau out of Princeton, an American college, he's crunched the numbers. He says, look, if you have no, by the way, he says 100% stocks, no bonds. He says, if you have a 100% stock portfolio and you take 8% out per year, you will run out of money 2 out of 3 times. 63% of the time, not even a coin flip, 63% of the time, you will run out of money in advance of life expectancy. So while I always say, Dave Ramsey, if you're making 50 but spending 60, Dave Ramsey is precisely the person you should be talking to right about now. But when it comes to sort of spending down your retirement savings in the most efficient way and wringing the most efficiency out of your retirement savings and increasing the likelihood that your money lasts as long as you do, Dave Ramsey is precisely not the person you should be talking to. I mean, I sent the manuscript to Wade Pfau, who ended up writing the foreword where he said, Dave Ramsey is like 180 degrees wrong on some of this stuff. He says, if he were any more wrong, he'd be veering his way back towards right again. That's how wrong he is on this stuff. So it's mind-boggling that someone with his platform isn't willing to pay attention to math and actuarial science, but it made for great fodder for a book. And he's not the only one that gets this stuff wrong, but he's really is the star of the show and the primary culprit.
So, Dave, obviously Tom Hegna spoke on this too. So you could have guaranteed lifetime income with annuities and still have money in the stock market, but it's not money you're going to be pulling out each and every month. I would say manage your money like you're a pension fund. Money that I'm going to use like today or next week or next month, that's going to be invested differently than money I'm going to use 10 years from now. In fact, Putnam put out a piece right here. So think about 2000, 2001, 2002. If you're assuming you're going to make 8% and you don't, and you lose 46% over 3 years, folks, you're out of money in like 7 years. So Putnam put a good piece out right here that says $1 million portfolio, 5% withdrawal annually, increasing with inflation, invested in 60% stocks, 30% bonds, 10% cash, $1 million. In 1980, 10 years later, you had 1.7 million. If you retired in 1990, 10 years later, you had 1.86 million. If you retired in 2000, in 10 years, you had a negative balance of 472,000, which meant you ran out of money about 7 years in. It's a real thing. It's a thing that needs to be addressed, and I'm hopeful that people, once they do go to an advisor, which Dave recommends you talk to an advisor, that they say, you know what, that one he's got wrong, everything else, okay, we'll go with that. because I think you're exactly right. If you're making 60 and you're spending 100, you probably should pay attention to those baby steps. But when it comes to, your peak of the mountain and now it's time to start taking money out, just turn the radio off, quit listening to it.